Welcome to We Review Stuff, the podcast where, in a shocking turn of events, we review stuff. Every week we review 2 techie things and 1 wild card with just one goal in mind, and that is to definitively tell you what the best thing in the world is. We're working towards it.
No big deal.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm your host this week, Adam Smith, and I am joined by the Titan of Telco, Alex Choros.
Hi there.
The Goliath of gaming, Fergus Halliday.
Hello, hello.
And the really cool and talented dude who I couldn't think of an alliterative epithet for, Dylan Crimsale.
Hello, hello.
Dill is joining us from the Whistle Out team. Happy to have you here. Dill, can you give us just a little taste, just a little no spoiler sneak peek of what you're going to be bringing to the table today?
I'm reviewing an expensive pencil case.
Ooh, every time I've bought a pencil case, I've thought, why couldn't I have spent more money on this? Alex, what shall you be submitting for judgment before the tribunal today?
I've got something wonderful.
Could be so many things. It's just wide open. And Fergus, our wild card for today. Give us a little taste, just a peek behind the curtain.
'Tis a bevy from beyond the Pacific Sea.
Ooh, man. I like that you kind of went into old-timey sea captain talk there.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we've got a lot to get through and not a lot of time. But don't forget to stay with us until the end of the episode, where we will rank each of our newest items on the list, putting it in its perfect and immutable spot. Let's kick things off. All right, let's kick things off with our special guest, Dylan.
I'm reviewing today the Orbit Key Nest, which is a desk organizer, or, it's a really expensive pencil case. It's a product that was backed on Kickstarter. Orbit Key is based in Melbourne, and they designed the keys. I believe you have them as well, Alex.
I do.
Designed in this leather band so that they don't jingle. Unless you've got things on the end.
For those who can't see at home, it's like a key Swiss Army knife, essentially.
Yeah, that's essentially what the Orbit Key is. But since then, Orbit Key, the company, has moved into the kind of work and everyday carry space. So this is the Nest, which has been out for a couple of years now. It's got this kind of valet tray on top where you can put your items. There's a 10-watt wireless charger, so you can actually charge your phone while you're at your desk. And it's got a bunch of innovative features inside. So when you take the lid off, you can take the lid off like a box, so you can see everything in 2 parts. Or you can actually, there's a dual hinge, and you can actually open it like a chest.
That's nifty.
Ooh, I like that.
And yeah, it's got really good tension, so that doesn't fall off. All of these spaces, so you can keep things like a bank card, Opal card, SD card, keys.
Every kind of card.
Every kind of card.
You've got ideas for.
Yeah, and anything that will fit in these pockets. If you've got a thin notebook, you could slide that in there. But the real innovation actually in the bottom unit here. So it actually comes with 6 of these little dividers. And the bottom is like this kind of felt material. And you just stick the divider in and you press down, give it a little wiggle, and then that stays. And you can take it out with a satisfying pull. It's very secure. It's like stuck in there. So you can see, I've got the cable, I've got some earbuds, and I've got some hand cream in there. You can put an Apple mouse in there.
That looks like a very bougie hand cream.
It is. It's from ASOS.
I mean, it's a bougie pencil case. So,
yes.
Yeah.
This is the one area of my life that I allow a little bit of luxury.
So, does that hand cream cost more than the pencil case?
No.
With Ace, you never know.
You do never know. And I did get suckered into buying this last time I went in. I was just looking for samples, and of course, they got me.
Hold on. Back on the pencil case.
Yeah.
I have some questions.
Yes.
First of all, you said it was backed on Kickstarter. Did you back it back then, or are you a late bloomer to this?
I did not. I am a late bloomer, but I've been a fan of Orbit Key since I got the keyring.
Gotcha.
I also have like the desk mat, and a lot of their things are very bougie, and I don't purchase them unless I really need them. But this one has been really great.
So you're a bit of an Orbit case stan.
I am. Someone at my previous job told me that it sounded like I was working for the company. They were like, do you have an affiliate relationship? And I was like, no, but I should.
You're putting their kids through college.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really actually like super useful thing to travel with. Like if you're to take that in your carry-on on an airplane, like I'm sure that all of us have traveled internationally and you've got your carry-on and then you've got all your really important items just strewn about throughout the carry-on. And it just seems like that would make life so much simpler.
Yeah. Well, because it's got this these dividers, you can really like change your loadout. I've taken it camping.
You need a wireless charger when camping.
Yeah, definitely don't need that aspect of it. But I mean, it's really in how you use it, because anything you can think of that fits, like you can really get in there and change things around. I don't think I've ever had the same setup for very long.
I also like that you can create divisions so that you can kind of, keep those parts of your life separate. Like I have my hand cream and I have my AirPods and never the twain shall meet.
Yes, exactly.
So Dill, you've called this a really expensive pencil case. How much does it cost?
So the Nest is $150, which is pretty steep. It's
there's like a lot of bougie wireless charging stands that cost around about the same amount from brands like Belkin. I guess those tend to charge multiple devices, but I guess it's not out of the ballpark for a high-end wireless charger.
Is the wireless charger, is there a power bank built in, or do you need to have it connected to a power source? What's that situation like?
Yes. So it doesn't hold a charge, so you will need to be connected. Comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable. That's one of the things that's a little bit more fiddly, I guess, if you're not carrying a lot of other cables and things. Like you do have to make space in the Nest for the cable itself. But yeah, and it's not particularly fast, I would say. I've only ever really used it to kind of top up my phone. I wouldn't rely on it.
You talk about having all these possibilities for moving stuff around. How much do you actually use those possibilities? Are you constantly rearranging it? Do you just have it in one configuration and you're leaving it that way?
Yeah, no, I've changed it like all the time. I've sometimes changed things around so that I've got pens in there. This loadout isn't a pen-based one. This is like an everyday sort of setup. I change it all the time. I'm on the EDC subreddit, which is, I'm a big everyday carry person. My favorite was the other day, a lot of people in America, someone posted my lazy EDC, and they've got like a Swiss Army knife and their gun and an extra clip and their wallet and all
America.
America.
Thinking we shouldn't venture too much further down that road. So it'll be interesting to see where this one lands on the list. Dylan, what would you rate your bougie pencil case?
I would have to give it 4.5 upvotes on an unhinged everyday carry post.
All right, Alex, lay it on us. You say you have something wonderful.
I'm reviewing the smash hit new Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and it truly lives up to the title.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
How wonderful is it? What's the weirdest, wonderfulest part?
The weirdest, wonderfulest part is that Nintendo just kind of like let their inhibitions go and made a really strange Mario game. It feels like they've like taken 40 years of ideas that probably would have been deemed too weird or like too left of center for a Mario game and just shoved them into one package. So the whole premise of Super Mario Wonder, like not that the story really matters. It's a Mario game. You're still like,
yeah,
you're fighting Bowser. Yeah, like, so you go to the Flower Kingdom rather than the Mushroom Kingdom. And in each level, there's an item called a Wonder Flower that just like changes the level in a really weird way. In one of the early ones, you get a Piranha Plant Choir.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right.
like really joyful. In others, like kind of the levels almost go like black and white, really silhouetted, and that kind of changes how you can interact with the environment. There's stuff where the perspective turns to be like almost like a top-down game instead. So there's just like lots of like perspective shifts, weird ideas, really psychedelic.
Yeah, it sounds very Psychonautsy.
Yeah, it's very fun and just like it's just kind of like the kind of game that like leaves you smiling. Just like I can't believe I did that.
Now, I'm interested the Wonder Flowers. Do they always change the gameplay, or do they sometimes just change something aesthetic?
Always kind of like the gameplay because you can finish the level without picking up the Wonder Flower, and then it's just like your standard kind of side-scrolling 2D Mario. But when you pick up a Wonder Flower, it like adds something new to the level and kind of changes how you get to the ending.
I wonder, do you get like the same kind of power-ups that you used to get in the classic games?
Yeah, you still have like the Fire Flower and the Mushroom and the Star, but now you've also got Bubble Flower, which lets you shoot bubbles. You've got a power-up that turns you into an elephant, and you can store water in your trunk and stomp on things with greater efficiency. And there's also a new drill power-up, which turns your head into a drill, and you can burrow into the ceiling.
Oh, that's awesome. That's kind of a throwback to Yoshi's Island, isn't it?
I think so. It's been a long time since I played Yoshi's Island.
I want to know more about this Flower Kingdom. Are they a monarchy? Do they have parliament? What's their relationship to the Mushroom Kingdom? I need to know this deep lore.
Unfortunately, being a Mario game, it doesn't really have that much deep lore. Like the whole premise is like Bowser's come to the Flower Kingdom. He's stolen like the Mega Wonder Flower or whatever it's come, and he's merged himself with a castle. So like you're not just fighting Bowser; you're fighting Bowser merged with a castle.
Well, that certainly contravenes the Geneva Convention, obviously.
I think so too. It's really concerning when a giant lizard merges to become with a giant castle to become a floating palace of death.
And please, I want to know more about Elephant Mario, like on a scale from 1 to how have we lived this long of our lives without this? How great is Elephant Mario?
Like about an 11 out of 10. Whenever you get the elephant power-up, Mario or Luigi or whoever playing says, "Wowie zowie," and I don't know why, but it's really charming and really stupid, and I love it. Just like even like the like attention to detail, like in the animations when like you're getting a Fire Flower or you're getting the elephant power-up, they're just like so slick, so smooth, and just like it adds so much personality to the game. And like it's still a side-scrolling game, but it's the best Mario's ever looked.
How long are the levels?
Each level only really takes a few minutes to get through, maybe like up to 5, depending on like how hard they get. And in past Mario games, there used to be the timer that kind of like makes you like finish the level in like say under 3 minutes or under 4 minutes, under 2 minutes, depending. In this game, they've gotten rid of that, so it's like really kind of allows you to explore a bit more, which is fun because a lot of the levels have secret endings which take you to like other levels and like unlock other like parts of the world map. So like that's all kind of like really optional, but like for people who want to explore and like really dig into the game, there's a lot of potential there. You need to get a number of like Wonder Flowers to progress to the end of each level and beat the boss, but there's way more Wonder Flowers than you need in each world than you need to actually finish the world. So like there's like some like just insanely hard levels that are kind of really there for hardcore fans that like if you're not into like precision platforming, you can just ignore. But like if you are into that, you've got that challenge there, and if you beat them, they go to like a secret world which has even harder levels where it's just like, how are you meant to do this? This is like some real Meat Boy shit.
That was actually my next question, is kind of the difficulty level, because Mario has always been super accessible in that there's a difficulty level that seems reasonable for casual gamers as well as hardcore gamers. How do you find this compares to other Mario games?
Again, I think it's the most flexible it's ever been. So like in addition, you've got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad. There's also the Yoshis. You can play as Yoshi. If you're playing as Yoshi, you don't take damage, so that's kind of like makes it like a bit of an easy mode. And you also have badge modifiers that kind of affect the level. Like some give you like an extra move, or others negate your first fall and push you back to where you were, or like add extra blocks to make platforming easier. So there's lots of little ways that you can kind of tweak your own experience without it feeling like you're playing on easy mode, and I think that's really cool.
That's cool. I heard the person who was originally voicing Mario for years and years and years didn't do the voice this time. Did you notice any difference?
I didn't pay that much attention to it. Like, I'm not particularly fussed about who's voicing Mario.
So disrespectful. So disrespectful.
I mean, like, look, it's a lot better than Chris Pratt.
I want Chris Pratt DLC for this game.
Get out, Ferg. Get out.
Oh gosh. So you talked about the weirder and weirder stuff in this game. What is the weirdest, the absolute weirdest mushroom trip stuff you have found in this game?
That's probably a massive spoiler because it's the final boss fight.
Ooh,
I don't really.
Okay. Yeah, we'll stay away from that. What's the weirdest you can give without giving spoilers, do you think?
Yeah, I think the like Piranha Plant musical is just like really joyous and just like really sets the tone for like how much fun the game has with itself.
Where does this fall, do you think, in the pantheon of Mario games? Because if you had asked me previously, I would say the best Mario games would be Galaxy and Odyssey.
I feel like it's definitely towards the top just because of how many risks it takes and like just the big ideas and the fact that it never seems to run out of big ideas. And like it's crazy. Like the key members of the team worked on the first Mario games. So there's like over 30 years of like knowledge of Mario with some of the people who've worked on this game, which is crazy. Like to just be making Mario games for over 30 years, right? So I wouldn't hesitate to like say it's one of the best Mario games made.
Awesome. So Alex, how would you rate Super Mario Wonder?
I'd rate it a long trip through the Flower Kingdom.
Okay, and finally, Fergus, our wild card. I am brimming with excitement to see what you've brought us today.
Well, Adam, like all good wild card picks, I'd like to begin by making a sweeping generalization about our shared reality that no one can take, umbrage with. I think that when it comes to the landscape of soft drinks in Australia, innovation, excitement, it's just not the word that comes to mind. Sure, there's nothing wrong with classics like Solo or obvious staples like Pepsi and Coke, but writ large, the world of soft drinks in Australia is just pretty boring. And it's into this sterile pond that I'd like to introduce my wild card pick for this week. The Diablo-themed Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel Mystic Punch. This is better than I expected, given how long it's been sitting in the fridge. I like to think of it less of an exotic delicacy and more like an invasive species. The world of Australian soft drinks is not ready for Mountain Dew Mystic Punch, and I assume that's why it's not available locally.
What does the Mystic Punch taste like?
It's very fruity, actually. It's not as like overwhelmingly fruity. It's like fruit flavored Nerds, like that kind of candy fruity kind of thing.
Do you realize, Ferg, that the moment you even take a sip of a gamer-themed soda, not just any gamer-themed soda, but a Mountain Dew gamer-themed soda, you are immediately teleported back to living with your parents?
Oh no! So I guess a bit of a story about this is that I recently went over to the States to cover BlizzCon in California, and when I was wandering around the show floor one morning, I came across a couple of the other attendees slurping these exotic-looking Diablo-themed Mountain Dews, and I was like, where can I get one of those? And they pointed me in the direction of a stand, and I went there, and not only did I find Mountain Dews, but I also found out there was a whole scavenger hunt event where there were like hidden caches of cursed cans located around the convention center. And by gathering them all, you could be entered in a draw to win some sort of statue prize. I didn't really have the time to go through with all that, but it's neat. I also, in process of researching this drink, I learned that this is the first time since 2016 that Gamer Fuel has been available. So, if you pick up one of these cans, it could appreciate value amongst beverage fans, the hardcore beverage community. Unfortunately, I also learned through my research on soft drink review forums that of the two versions, there's a Diablo 4 one and a Halo one. Apparently, the Halo one is way better. So
So Ferg, with like gaming soft drink tie-ins, like any kind of snack tie-ins, they tend to come with like like DLC codes to like unlock stuff in the game.
I have seen nothing. I see no DLC code on here, unfortunately.
Damn, I hoped you could like unlock a Mountain Dew skin for your Necromancer.
Ah, same. Yeah, I think if I'm rating the pros and cons, the cons are I feel like they didn't go as hard on the tie-in part as they have with the Halo. Like I know Halo has seasonal map playlists that tie into their Mountain Dew flavor, which is very fun. And it's a shame they didn't go harder on that with Diablo 4. I guess it wouldn't be thematically appropriate, but no. If you're going to go to do this kind of collaboration, I think you need to go absolutely as ridiculous and obnoxious as possible. I think things like Fortnite have absolutely shown that people respond well to that.
My question, Ferg, is you said that there's a scavenger hunt to find cursed cans of the Diablo 4 themed gamer fuel. By nature, aren't all cans of Diablo 4 themed Mountain Dew cursed?
Yes, but these specific cans were quote unquote touched by Lilith's hatred, which may or may not be a metaphor. But I don't know, she's a spooky lady. I could imagine, like, even getting this back into the country, was a whole hassle. I imagine that her gently caressing a can would have some sort of effect on the level of fizziness.
That makes sense. Regular cans are just touched by self-hatred.
Where do you see that this sits if it was in the Australian market? Is it coming up at like top of like the list, or is this is like an occasional delicacy?
Look, you saw me open this on camera. I've been sitting here having my live experience of it, and you know what? It's pretty good. I enjoy this definitely more than regular Mountain Dew for sure.
That's a low bar.
It is a low bar. I'm not a big. I generally don't drink soft drink though. I'm just not big on the fizzy drinks. But this is pretty good. I don't regret drinking this. I was initially like, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this on camera, but I will definitely finish this. This is popping.
Would it be better if you added a little bit of gin?
Probably. Hold on.
This being an American soft drink, how much high fructose corn syrup does it contain?
Yeah, I think less than I expected. Let me see. 91% of daily value for sugars? Is this anything? That's probably it, right? That's probably what it brings out. It doesn't break out by like milligrams or anything.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really high.
Not a significant source of saturated fat. Oh, well, that's nice. I gotta be honest. I looked at the back of this and I was like, that doesn't seem healthy. But then I looked at like the nutritional value of most traditional soft drinks, and I was like, this is basically within the margin of error of most soft drinks. It's not crazy.
How well do you reckon this would pair with a peanut butter and cheese sandwich, for instance?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked that. One of these days I'm going to do it, though. I only have the one can, so unfortunately my ability to test this with you and report back is a little limited.
Maybe you're supposed to find the hidden cache hidden in Australia. Maybe that's the challenge.
Ooh, now that would be interesting. Somewhere in Australia. But I think there are laws against that. I think that would get stopped at customs.
That's too much high fructose corn syrup.
There's that. Would you, hold on, even putting the secret cache part to the side, would you drink a can of soft drink that you found as street bounty? Yes or no? I would not.
It depends upon the context in which I found it.
Yeah, I've been cutting back on soft drink lately. I'd feel a twinge of I must if I came across one of these in the street. If it looked sealed, I'd be tempted to take it home. I mean, you've said that there's value behind this, and yours is no longer mint. So if I saw one of these, I'm 100% taking it home.
You fool! You've destroyed its value.
But I made content from it, so who's the real winner here?
Our listeners.
All right, Ferg, how would you rate this abomination of soda?
I would rate it as forbidden fruit.
All right, so it's time now to add our new items from today to the list. And we take this job very seriously because we want to provide to you, the listener, the definitive ranking of all things so that you can determine how to spend your hard-earned money and or time. So where do we feel this this very bougie pencil case belongs on the list? I gotta say,
the name of the pencil case again?
Orbit Key Nest.
The
Orbit Key Nest. Yeah, I gotta say I was pretty impressed with it. Like the price and the fact that it doesn't have a power bank were a little off-putting to me, but overall it caught my attention.
I want to pitch it at number 15, below Meta AI stickers and above the microscope lens on the Oppo A98.
If I may, I as number one fan of the show, I've conducted a meta-analysis of the list as it exists so far. So I've got the list as it currently stands, currently in time, and I basically plotted it on a simple axis of, on the x-axis, it's practicality, and on the y-axis, fun. Because I noticed a lot of the things at the top of the list have garnered their positions, I think, because they're fun. The outlier, of course, is USB-C for iPhone 15 is probably the most practical of things on the list, and it's a massive outlier. I mean, I agree with Brody; it shouldn't be there, but that's okay. I'm not coming for the number one spot today.
You're all wrong.
But yeah, so I've mapped. Basically, there's this center curve, which is this flux of fun and practicality. And I would like to propose that the Orbit Key Nest could come in just under the IM Pro drink bottle, because I think it has enough of that fun factor with the way that you can customize things, and I think it has a high practical factor. I rest my case.
That's a really compelling argument. Like, you had
It's hard,
slides.
yeah.
I love that you got slides. We need to put them in the show notes, I think.
Yes, this is science.
Yeah, like I guess, like, do we trust the science or are we anti-science on this podcast?
Well, I've been away a few weeks, and the list has changed quite a bit since I last looked. And while I would put it below the Pro Iron drink bottle, I don't know if I would quite put it above the likes of the LG NeoChef 25-liter microwave or Robert Pattinson's Redemption arc for some reason.
So you're saying you're anti-science, Ferg?
In this instance, maybe.
I mean, I feel like Dill's case here is fairly bulletproof. I may not agree, like, emotionally with where he's placed it on the list, but I have to put that aside and look at it with hard, cold logic.
7?
I think it's really valid, and I think Adam will appreciate my science is pretty valid. As you can see, like, the food items on the list have got a really prime position between practicality and fun. Like, if we were doing the list solely on my analysis, I think soft-shell crab, for example, would rank way higher than it currently does.
Okay, you got it. You're on the list. You've got your spot. Right under the Pro Iron drink bottle. Lock it in.
Thank you. Happy with that.
Okay, now using Dylan's rubric here, where would we rate Super Mario Brothers Wonder? I have to say, like, I feel like it's going to be more fun than the iPhone 15 USB-C. But I don't feel right putting it above the Switch, without which it wouldn't exist.
Yeah, no, and I think this is the conundrum of Super Mario Brothers Wonder, where, like, I think it is somewhere, like, it's above Marvel Snap. It's definitely a far better game, and one that's way less predatory. But we can't put it above the Nintendo Switch.
No, it wouldn't make any sense.
I know there's a lot of strong feelings about Robert Pattinson's Redemption arc, but I don't think Mario's ever like almost peed himself while acting with William Dafoe. So,
but he didn't try and invent like pasta burritos at one point, though. So we got to keep that in mind.
That's very true.
Yeah, but the Mushroom Kingdom has its own delicacies.
That's a good argument. Yeah, that's a good argument. I'd feel comfortable putting it right above Robert Pattinson's redemption arc, personally. And remember, I was a fierce advocate for Robert Pattinson's redemption arc, but I do think that I probably get more enjoyment out of Mario Wonder.
Dylan, where you at?
Okay, I can see that. I personally think the fun factor would put it a little higher, but I think where heads are at, that's a settled debate. And I think I like the Orbit Keys Nest's position, and I wouldn't like to give anything over that.
Just wait until Ferg argues for his cursed soft drink.
It's not happening.
So when I look at this list, I am absolutely incensed at the disrespect shown to my microwave while I was off the airwaves. I swear.
I mean, whose fault is that?
This is upsetting. I thought people didn't even like Double Tap. What is it doing at number 9? What is happening? Would put Super Mario Wonder lower than I think anyone else here. But if the lowest we can get it is above Robert Pattinson's redemption arc, I'm happy with that.
Do you dislike Joy?
Do you dislike Wonder?
Super Mario side-scrollers don't do a whole lot for me.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and plus they don't have a promotional tie-in Mountain Dew, so
then we'd be different.
Yeah. Speaking of the promotional tie-in Mountain Dew, where are we putting that drink on this list?
Okay, I would probably put it maybe 15, 16, 17, around thereabouts. I don't see it going above Marvel Snap. The Marvel Snap threshold, let's say.
It feels to me like it sits very naturally right below Soft Shell Crab.
I don't know about that
argument.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, so this comes down to a case of a Mountain Dew versus Soft Shell Crab. Adam, you have 30 seconds to argue for Soft Shell Crab. Ferg has 30 seconds to argue for Mountain Dew.
Okay, think about the long-term health implications of both, right? Okay, eating soft shell crab is going to get you a lot of your fundamental proteins, your omega-3s. Yes, there's probably some bad saturated fats in there because of the frying process, but by and large, it's nourishing your body. Mountain Dew, at its best, is eating away your skeleton and probably leading to some very significant health complications with regular consumption.
Compelling pitch. Ferg.
I don't have that problem because I don't regularly consume Mountain Dew. But what I'll say, Adam, is I would like to make a pitch to you, which is it would mean a lot to me for this to go above Soft Shell Crab. And, if there were any other future episodes that you might want to, cash in some support for, maybe there's some kind of conversation that we could have there. That's what I'm saying.
Say no more. Say no more.
No, generally, I think that this is, even if it's just a soft drink, and it's like, I think genuinely a pretty good and novel one of those, right?
I want to know how much the sugar rush has impacted Fergus's judgment.
A lot.
Yeah,
From his own mouth.
Anything Ferg has said during the segment.
I know he's become noticeably more animated, but just because of the quid pro quo.
Yes.
I'm very comfortable placing this right where you said, where was it? Right above the microscope lens.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like that was a remarkably drama-free sort of ranking session. Like, we got everything on the list. There was fairly broad agreement about where everything belonged. And I feel like a little bit of bargaining. Yeah. Some tit for tat. Some what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I feel like we've ended up with a pretty good list.
That's what they said when they were crafting the Treaty of Versailles.
And there was also a lot of argument about where soft shell crab would land in that. So, well, that does it for us this week. If you want to try your hand at reviewing stuff, review us. A 5-star rating and review would go a long way for a new podcast like ours. And we'd really appreciate your support. Who knows, your review might end up on our list. So, Alex, if people want to find you, apart from this podcast, where can they go?
Find me on Threads and Instagram at ahoros. That's ACHOROS. The C is silent.
Yep, spelled just like it sounds. Dill, where might we find you on the web?
Yes, so I'm in all of the places, but the best place to find me is on Threads at DCRIISMALE. I like to add 2 I's for fun. And then you can find me everywhere else through the link tree in my bio, so makes it nice and easy.
Awesome. And Ferg, where can we stalk you?
You can find my work on Reviews.org/au, and you can find me on Threads at CVampedOz, CVAMPEDOZ.
Excellent. If you've got an idea for something that you want us to review, just get in touch, slide into our DMs on any of those platforms, and drop us some juicy review ideas. You'll find links to everything we talked about in our show notes. And until next time, this has been We Review Stuff, and that's the stuff.